Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be going over 15 Blizzard Lalo tips to help you improve. We're going to kick things off with tip number 1. You want to go and use it on a proper base. What's a proper base? Well, when you're looking to use Blizzard Lalo, you're going to be looking for these 3 things. With the blimp, take out 2 key defenses, get a CC pole, possibly taking out the CC, and also taking out an air targeting hero, aka Archer Queen or RC. If you can get all 3, this is an amazing setup for a Blizzard Lalo. Now, when sending a Blizzard Lalo, you need to have the correct tanking. What do I mean by tanking? So, you want to either start off with sending some balloons in, and these balloons you send them before you send the blimp, and this helps take out any black air seeking mines that can hit the blimp and make it pop earlier than you wanted. Now, if you have to get the blimp kind of far into the base to get that value, you'll want to send a lava hound before the blimp, and this makes it so it can tank deep into the base for the blimp. Last thing, if you are going for across the base or you need to make sure to get it into the center of the base, you're going to want to use a warden ability. And you can start off with dropping some balloons to take out initial defenses along with the blimp and the warden, then pop the warden to protect balloons and blimp going into the base. Tip number 3, scouting the base. Where are you going to land the blimp? This is very important. Are there 4 empty tiles where the blimp's gonna land? Them 4 empty tiles can be big bombs, and if there's 2 big bombs, the wizards are dying. Are you landing on a bomb tower? The wizards will die from the bomb tower and any extra bombs. Another thing, is the value too good to be true? Are you gonna take out the eagle, 2 infernos, and the town hall? Chances are there's going to be a tornado trap there. If there is a tornado trap there, it can really throw off your attack. So just to be aware, if there is all that value, you're taking out 4 key defenses with the town hall, there's more than likely going to be a tornado trap there, and you got jebaited. Tip number 4, if you are sending a lava hound and the blimp, it is good to drop a loon or loons behind the lava hound and blimp to clear out some defenses, taking advantage of the tanking of the lava hound. This will also help solidify the funnel for the heroes. As you can see, there's clear pathing for the barbarian king and queen to make their way in. Tip number 5, king placement. This will help with all attacks, not just Blizzard Lalo. Knowing where the king is going to walk when you drop him. And I am going to show you. Now, it all depends on the precise location we deploy the king. If we drop him on the left corner of the building, he's going to walk to the building to the left. Vice versa for the right side. If we drop him on the right side of the building, he's going to walk to the building on the right. Knowing this, you are less likely to have your heroes unwantingly split to help maximize the Sui hero value. This rule still does apply if there is a 1 tile gap between the buildings. Even no gap, it still applies. Now, knowing where the queen will go, next question. This leads us to our next tip, tip number 6, the hero's job. After you do the blizzard, you want to kill the CC if it's still up, and a good way to do so is by dropping an archer on an exterior building, luring out the CC to the corner where the queen can snipe off the CC, avoiding fighting the troops inside the base where the defenses can attack the heroes. Take out the remaining RC or queen and tightening the funnel for the Lalo. You typically want the pathing for the Lalo to be either a straight line or an L shape as shown. And lastly, if you can take an extra key defense, multi, eagle, town hall, or scatter, or even monolith. Now, town hall 15, good luck guys. Last one leads us up to our next tip, tip number 7. Let's say you do your Blizz and your heroes, but you still have a remaining RC or enemy queen to attack your Lalo. What do? Panic. No, don't panic. This is where we take advantage of the Warden's Eternal Tome ability. What we do is send in the Lalo with the Grand Warden as the loons make their way towards the enemy queen / RC. Send in the headhunters and pop the Warden ability, protecting the Lalo and the headhunters. Headhunters will swoop in and take down the enemy heroes, allowing the Lalo to storm in and rain destruction onto the base. Here's the next tip, tip number 8. And this is a big one. Look at the direction the sweepers are pointing. If you can sneak in the Lalo behind the sweepers, then it's going to be a lot smoother. Also, same thing with the blimp deployment. Check if you can sneak in the blimp without having to fight a sweeper at all. Or if you do, you may even want to freeze it so the blimp can get to your desired location. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more content from me, please hit that subscribe button. Tip number 9. Let's say you have to go in against the sweeper. It's a pain. What you're going to want to do is freeze the sweeper and haste into it. Because if not, you're going to be fighting the sweeper the whole time, and chances are your Lalo is just going to die out, unless if you can get some loons to sneak past and go and take it out. Tip number 10. So, you got your Blizzard done, your heroes, and you're going in with the Lalo. What you're going to want to do is mitigate the damage to the loons. What does the damage? Mainly air defense, obviously, but splash. Multi will take out your balloons so quickly. Same thing with scatter and town hall. So when you're deploying Lalo, you want to use the freezes on splash buildings. Tip number 11, get cleanup in immediately. As soon as you drop your lava hound and loons, get the minions to start eating the buildings behind as fast as possible. This is to avoid time fails. And that leads us up with our next tip, tip number 12, when to begin the Lalo. So once you do your Blizz and the heroes, you'll typically want to get the Lalo in at a minute 30 or to preferably like a minute 45. This allows you to go through the base and not have a time fail, because nobody likes them 2 building time fails when all you really had to do was get the Lalo in just a little bit sooner. You can start the Lalo later, like let's say a minute left on the clock, and it is possible, but it really slims the chances of you actually getting the 100%. So good rule of thumb to go by: when there's a minute 30, a minute 45 on the clock left, get the Lalo in. Here's a big one. So traps, especially red bombs, can be detrimental to your Lalo, especially when the loons are all clumped up together. So to eliminate the threat of red bombs, even black bombs, pair the Warden ability with a haste. So what you do is you drop the haste in, and then once the loons approach the haste, pop the Warden, and this propels the loons through the base and pulling the traps and getting hit by the traps while they are invincible. And a good time to really try and pop the Warden is normally approaching into the center of the base, because that's where you'll find a lot of red bomb farms. Tip number 14. We're getting down to the final 2. This is definitely a good one that will help you triple through your Blizzard Lalo attacks. Once you get heroes in and they get their value, don't wait for them to die out. Throw in that Lalo. This will help the heroes stay alive, help clean up, fight defenses, and make your attack a lot more efficient and more likely to survive to the end and triple. Just try not to get that warden stuck following the king. And the way to do that is to really try and drop either enough balloons that the warden will follow the loons, or just try and offset the warden a little bit away from the king. And here is the final tip, tip number 15. This one is actually very important to do. So when doing the Lalo, you need to drop enough loons to one-shot every defense, because the lava hound will stroll away from the loons and the loons will get stuck striking the defenses. They drop a bomb every 3 seconds, so if they don't one-shot it, the loons are just stagnant for another 3 seconds before they can drop another bomb. Next thing you know, to combat this, you want to drop anywhere from 3 to 4 loons per defense, depending on what it is. A good rule of thumb is, if it's an arch tower, drop 3, cannon 3, mortar 3, wizard towers 4, expos can take 5 to 6 depending on your town hall. Same with multis, scatters. Town hall can take 11. Using a rage spell will obviously strengthen the loons a lot more to help take down those big defenses. Dropping enough loons to one-shot each defense as they go into the base will allow your Lalo to flow in and be that much stronger. That's it for the video. If you liked it, please leave that like, and I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed.